Stop struggling against my demons. Stop taking life as fiction. Let it burn, burn, burn. Burn the pain, burn the lies, burn the fear inside myself. And burn it all again. It's the right time to escape this cage.
All right. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of the podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, this is Susie Major from the band RagDolls. All female.
How are you
Aerosmith
tonight?
Tribute. I'm doing all right. Getting over my third week of sort of being sick. I got COVID 3 weeks ago and
Oh, wow.
tested negative a week ago, and did a rehearsal a week ago Tuesday when I was, symptom free, I thought, and it just ate my voice away. So I sound a little hoarse. That's the aftermath. But other than that, fine.
Very cool. Very, very good.
No problem. No fever, nothing.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Fully vaccinated and boosted, as we all should be.
That's right.
Well, I've been singing since I was 7. Sorry?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I heard you talking. Oh, I've been singing since I was 17. And at that time, I did a culty B horror movie called Rocktober Blood. I don't know if you've heard of it, but check it out because it's pretty cool, actually. I mean, I'm still getting fan mail, which is crazy because I thought it bit, but there's a cult following. And from there, I've just been singing in various bands, originals only. And now I created 2 years ago an Aerosmith Tribute, all female. And we just got picked up by a really great talent agency who is booking us all over the country, and we'll be in our first shows with them is coming up in 3 weeks in New Hampshire, in fact. I think it's August 25th and 26th in New Hampshire, first show at the Cake. If anyone is close to there on the East Coast, please come out and see us. I think it's pretty amazing. And that's what I've been doing. Or working in the entertainment industry. With artist management.
Very cool. So how did you become a lead singer?
Ever since I was a little kid, I was figuring out how to play instruments by ear. And unfortunately, I had the kind of parents that were professionals. Dad was a doctor, mom was a nurse. And they adopted my brother and myself. We're not related, but, by family. And they, I was harmonizing in the car with my mom singing whatever she was singing, mainly show tunes, at a very, very early age, like preschool. And so that's like 3. And figuring out songs on my toy piano, and my family just looked down on that. But that just did it for me. And I knew I wanted to be involved in the arts. And I finally convinced them to give me piano lessons when I was in 4th grade. But I had such a block with learning formally. And I was always I just listened to what the teacher was playing, and I know, okay, this is right, this is wrong. So, and I also learned in 3rd grade how to play violin by the Suzuki method, which is by ear. So, which was very bad because then when you want to join the elementary school orchestra, and they're all reading, and you're going, I can't keep up. It was a little frustrating, but singing there's just been a constant since I was a little kid. So I kept doing that. And then I got the balls up to join a band, a little high school band. And we actually did one show out here, before I moved to Las Vegas with the family, still at the end of high school here. And I got the bug big time. And as soon as I could, I joined a band, auditioned for a band that was looking for a male singer, of course, because it's like, I can do that and I can do that better. So just hear me out. So I auditioned with some Yes songs and Rush and got the job. And actually, that band was the reason I got to sing and record half a soundtrack for the Rocktober Blood movie. And I just have never looked back. I can't imagine doing anything else. Well, I can because I'm broke, but it's a passion that I can't give it up, and I won't.
I don't blame you. It sounds like that it's one of those things that, like with most people, when you find something that you're meant to do, you just know right away.
Oh, absolutely. But it's a struggle because, like I said, I worked in artist management and I worked at a big Beverly Hills talent agency called APA for a while. And then COVID took that away and 50% of the company. But you have to eat, and you have to pay bills. So music doesn't, especially original music, because there's so many talented artists out there and singer-songwriters, etc., that it's with original music, it's really hard to make a living. Basically, you just get lucky if your songwriting's good enough and it catches people's attention. But even then, there's no guarantee you can make money from it. So hence me going, I'm tired of struggling. I want to tour. I want to get out there and play. And if coming up with an original tribute project, which doesn't take away myself, i.e. I would never do a Heart tribute or a Pat Benatar tribute or anything like that, because then you wouldn't know me for me, I think. That's just my opinion. But the Aerosmith tribute, it's quite unique. There's a lot of Aerosmith tributes out there, and they're not all female. And I won't brag, but I'm very proud of what we've accomplished. It's a great band. Hopefully you'll check us out on ragdolls-band.com. Got live videos up there and our touring schedule.
Yeah, definitely. I've checked out some of the stuff, and you guys are amazing.
Thank you. We're working hard at it.
So how hard is it to be a tribute band? Is it, because I would imagine you guys dress similar to Aerosmith, depending on the era that you're doing.
Well, tribute-wise, we try to touch on every era. So that's 50 years of material. And of course, people want to hear the songs that they're most familiar with. And they didn't have a lot of charting songs, strangely enough. And then you take, I've been an Aerosmith fan since junior high. My first record that I fell in love with, a friend of mine in the neighborhood played it for me, and that was Draw the Line. And this was way past the 70s, so... well, not way past, but we won't go into my age. I'm gray. But from I have to be reeled in by my music director, which is the rhythm guitar player, Masha McSorley, because I'm always wanting to do songs that meant something to me, which may not be, general populace favorites. I guess they call them deeper cuts, but to me, but is it hard? Clothing wise. So clothing wise, luckily from my experience working in artist management, I happen to be connected with this lady named Karen Dusenberry, and Karen Dusenberry outfits Ringo Starr, Cheap Trick, God, who else? Aerosmith. In fact, one of my vests is the same material from his 90s tiger one-piece jumpsuit, and or onesie or leotard or whatever you want to call it. And she had a little bit of the material left, so I'm like, yeah, you got to make me a vest out of that, which I love. She's also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Grammy Museum. She's freaking amazing. So she does my clothes. She does Ali Handal, our lead guitar player, / Joe Perry, and she does some of Masha's clothes. You know, the drummer you can't really see, and the Tom Hamilton representative, Tara Ray. She does her own thing. I mean, nothing comes from a store except from my drummer, but again, you can't see her. So with outfitting, yeah, that's really important because you don't want to see, it's a show. I mean, to me, tribute is like musical theater. So we want to bring as much excitement and pageantry to the stage and the event as we can afford to do. My dream is to have the digital back screens and, you know, can't say multi-million, but, you know, a very expensive stage production, which I know I won't get to at this point, but luckily a lot of the theaters that we play have the digital back screens, and we're able to utilize those. Plus it's really tough to travel with all the gear unless you have trucks going out ahead of time. So, and it's only our second year, so but we're doing quite well because I don't know too many other tributes in their first year that have gotten the attention that we have. And we also getting picked up by a really stellar booking / talent agency called Blue Raven. And they're based out of Chicago and also have an office in Jersey. And they're getting us, you know, shows and offers from around the country and internationally. We're trying to settle on a date to go to Japan, which, you know, that's a pipe dream that I can't wait for it to happen. Looking at Europe. So, and that's after 1 year of playing. So I'd say we're doing pretty damn good, even though
Definitely. Yeah. It sounds like, you know, the sky's the limit at this point and you guys are on your way up. So what,
hopefully it all depends
that's
on
true.
ticket sales too. You know, we need people to come out to shows, see what we're about. And as an all-female band, it's kind of twice as hard because people don't expect, you know, you're underestimated until they get out there and then they go, what the F did I just see that and hear? That's, I wasn't expecting that. So we need people to come out and let
Definitely
us show
got to show the love. Do you have a favorite Aerosmith song or album? Because I know there's so many to choose from.
God, favorite. I mean, I couldn't pick just one. I mean, the first four, obviously, you know, the original Aerosmith, and then what is it? Toys in the Attic and Rocks and Draw the Line. But after that, I mean, I loved Get a Grip. I loved Pump. I loved the ones where I hated Done with Mirrors. I can't even get through that record. But after that, pretty much all of them. I mean, I haven't really dug into the Bobo album, you know, the blues covers, but near and dear are, of course, in junior high, because they just released, what was it? Night in the Ruts and Rock in a Hard Place. And those you never heard on the radio except for, I think, When Lightning Strikes, which I want to cover too, which we will. But I loved those two albums. I found gems in those. So, and that's kind of a sore spot. I'm fighting with Masha all the time for her to include songs from there, which we will eventually. But I have a master list of 52 songs, from the entire career. I mean, right now we touch on every of the more well-known albums when we perform, and it's between a 90 and 120 minute set. It's also really hard. People don't realize for Ali Handal, our lead guitarist, there are if she was allowed to and could do it feasibly, she has to travel with 5 guitars. So fly dates, we have to, look at the set list and go, okay, how can we make this as easy for her as possible? So there's a lot, especially when you don't have a tech all the time with you, because again, we're a newer band, so we can't afford to keep a tech with us. When we do have one, it's a lot easier for her, but she's doing a lot. And she's meticulous about her leads. Which is why things are a little slower than I personally would like, but I respect what she's doing, and that's playing the leads note for note. Joe Perry doesn't play the leads note for note, because he didn't play the leads on everything, as if you know, you know. So she's very meticulous, and we have to make it as easy as possible for her to be comfortable traveling and changing guitars and keeping the flow of a set going and not stopped. Because honestly, I don't personally think people want to hear a lot of talking. They want to hear music. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can only imagine, the travel aspect of it has got to be kind of crazy, especially, like you said, with all the equipment that you guys already have.
Yeah. Well, when you travel, you try and at least, thank goodness we have an agent taking care of this for us. But if it's a fly date, we'll have backline, our equipment taken care of, and all we have to bring is, pedal boards, a mic stand, and even that I'm debating because it's extra weight, and guitars and bass. So she's like I'm going to be carrying one of her guitars, and she'll be carrying 2 of her guitars for travel dates. But certain songs we can't do. It's is it worth it just bringing a slide for, say, Ragdoll, which is the only time she uses a slide, or can we get away with not doing that song for a fly date? And then there's airline issues, because you take a chance every time you fly. Are they going to take care of the equipment? Is something going to get lost? So,
you're fine.
Sorry,
so what is your favorite part of being in a band?
Oh, God. Have you ever done any theater, or have you ever played in a band or played with other people creatively, or done creative projects? Josh? Yes? No? It's kind of hard to explain, but I'll try. Or maybe, I don't know if you're a Dungeons and Dragons guy, or anything that you find your community. I think a lot of musicians or artistic people, period, whether that be dancers or actors or, kids getting into music, you always feel like you're a little bit of an outcast, and we tend to be growing up. When you play with other people, when you finally put aside your insecurities and you just let that blossom and say, I want to do this. I want to, I took all these lessons, or I practiced, and I want to get together with other people and do that. The connection, just from even that one time, is such a high. You become instant friends, instant family, and at least in my experience, and you found your tribe. And if it's with the right people that you connect with creatively, you blossom as a person, and you start trying to write songs, which is another huge high, creating something from nothing. To me, there's no better happiness. There's no drug. It's such a gift to be able to do that with other people. So and then getting on stage with these people and connecting with an audience and having people want to come and pay money to actually hear you and experience what you're offering them. It's my happy place. I mean, I was still sick Saturday, and we played at the Whiskey for this thing called Crew Fest. It's a charity, and I was terrified I was going to lose my voice completely because I wasn't completely over this thing. And as soon as I hit the stage, I was exhausted, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and boom, you create this monster, and people were just so receptive to it. And geez, I got flowers. It's wonderful. I love connecting with people on that level and making people happy and bringing them back to their childhood or their teenage years or whatever it is with, people of a certain era with these songs. I wish we could add our own originals, but then probably that's when people are going to the bathroom or getting drinks because they're there to hear what.
Definitely. I can only imagine the rush that you get.
I love doing it.
From just being on stage, knowing there's a huge audience waiting on you.
Yeah, I mean, audience size, it can vary. If you're touching a handful of people, and that's happened. We've played at places up in Northern California where it's freezing cold out. And my God, a woman threw me up her sweater coat because I'm like in this light outfit, and it was bad. And it's nighttime, and it was very gusty wind, and most of the people left because it was too damn cold. But these hardcore fans stayed, and we'd never played there before. And so we just, you connect with them, and they're so gracious, and they're so happy and welcoming. And I mean, you connect more with, of course, a smaller crowd than you do a massive crowd. It's pure love. It's great. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift to be able to do that. And if anyone can experience that, getting up on a stage and bearing your soul without fear, it's an audience will relate to that, an uncontrived bearing of one's soul. They accept it and welcome it and appreciate it, because it's not super easy to do. I mean, that's one thing I found when young girls will ask me if I give singing lessons, which I don't, because I've never taken singing lessons per se, so I don't know how I would teach this. But I get asked that, and then they ask, well, I don't want to learn so much how to sing, but because I know I can sing, but it's being able to stand on a stage and sing and project in front of people, because that I haven't done. How can you teach me to do that? And it's, my God, I remember my first show in front of people, and it was like at a rehearsal place, which was a warehouse in Vegas. And people, my first band in Las Vegas called Face Down. and they invited a bunch of people to come hear us. And this would be my first time fronting a band with my new original band. And I froze. I was, I'm like 17 and I ran. It's terrifying at first, and your lips like, it's nerve-wracking at first, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you are with it. And we're talking, that was like 35 years ago. So, the more you do it, the more comfortable you are with it, but you just have to be able to just let go. I mean, personally, I lose myself when I'm up there singing. I could not tell you what anyone else really is involved with. I'm in my own little bubble, just going, except for looking at cues and whatnot, and trying to communicate certain things. But for the most part, I'm just on another plane. It's a freaking rush. It is great. It's truly great. Plus, I'm singing songs that I love, that I grew up with, and pretending that I'm a mixture of Steven Tyler and Joe Perry, minus the bad nose. It's cool. I try to channel his energy or his vibe as much as I can for a woman. I mean, personally, I would never go see an Aerosmith tribute of guys because I want to see Aerosmith. But what RagDolls is doing is bringing an almost original concept, but with the same, energy, with the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Essence of Aerosmith, but it's kind of an original thing. So for that, I'm really proud of, because I don't want to be Aerosmith. I want to be me performing Aerosmith.
And that makes total sense. I mean,
with really
for anything to be a success,
outfits, of course.
You got to put a little bit of yourself into that, even if it's, singing or if it's acting or whatever the case is.
Right. 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 Unless you're like specifically imitating someone. And that's why I thought, if I do this, I resisted doing a tribute thing forever. I mean, they've been around for a while. I think they started like in the late 80s. They started popping up, or early 90s. And I'm like, oh, God, write a song, man. But no, it's a different vibe. I mean, I really appreciate the like parody tributes. So I don't know, they're not really tributes. It's it really truly is musical production or musical theater. Like, what is that, Steel Panther? That's a very unique take on a genre of music, and they have their own original songs too. And then there's a band out here called Gacy DC that are freaking hilarious. And the lead guitar with Gacy DC, I used to be in a band called Cry Wolf with. I don't know if you remember Cry Wolf. They had a couple albums out back in the late 80s and 90s. They were on Headbangers Ball with a big hit called Pretender. They toured Japan. They were pretty big. But they weren't your typical hair bands. They were more like a thinking man's hair band. And that's just because they have hair. Now the lead guitarist has no hair. So who knew? But Gacy DC, so funny. So I like things like that are more unique.
You're there to be entertained, whether it be you're wanting to see the full-on act, or whether, like you said, you're wanting to see something that's just going to be all around entertaining, but still be a version of whatever it is that they're doing.
Right. I mean, I was really impressed that we got recently we got a show opening for Vixen, and I didn't know what to expect. They had quite a few hits back in the hair band days. You remember the band Vixen, Edge of a Broken Heart? And but that's the only song I know of theirs. But I thought, oh my God, these guys were on MTV all the time. Back when they had videos. Are they going to look down on us because, you know, we're a tribute band, which some people could call a cover band, which I don't like, but we are covering another band's material. And they were so gracious and so caring and giving. And they constantly were talking about us from the stage, from their set. And I hope we can do more shows with them or original bands, just because it kind of gives you, as a tribute, a little bit more legitimacy as a project. Obviously I never thought I'd be doing tribute, but I guess the point I was making is picking Aerosmith, like I said before, if I did a band that had a female front person, people would forget that I'm my own person, and they'd recognize me as trying to be that person. And I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be Steven Tyler per se. I'm trying to get his essence so people feel, some of the stage moves. And I cannot flip, and I will not flip because I'm too damn old to do flips. But, cocaine on the side of the stage, shoot some heroin or fall down. I almost, we were up for doing a Sturgis show, and I guess that's where he fell off the stage. So we were going to see if we could put a mattress in front of the stage and I could fall off, and, just crap like that, funny bits, but didn't come to fruition, thank God. Because I'd never want to I wasn't making fun of him. That was actually the promoter's idea. I wouldn't do that because I think that's messed up. But I still want to keep myself, but I'm interested to hear what audiences want from us now that we're getting more traction and we're getting out there more and we're coming to different states finally. I'm very interested to know, do you want me to look more like him, or which with these lips, there's absolutely no way. And I've got boobies. So, we're limited. Although we, as girls, and I'm very proud of this too, we don't play up being female. We're not trying to sell sex. We're trying to sell the music as accurately as possible. We're trying to sell the stage show, the production. We don't, I also fight with Masha about, can we not be promoting this as all female? Because it doesn't matter what your sex is. It just, musician is a musician. You play an instrument, you sing, or you play drums. Doesn't matter if you're male or female, but because there are less females, I guess, doing this than males, generally speaking, we play up on that for now. At some point, we will drop the all female because people will know. Like you don't hear the Iron Maidens going around promoting the all female element.
Right.
People already know. Of course, Maiden's in the name, so.
So we kind of touched.
But I'm interested to know what people think. What they want to see more of.
Oh no, yeah. So
but
we kind of touched base
short
a little bit on
in fact,
your website. Where can people find
skirts.
You guys on social media?
We're on Facebook. I think that's RagDolls. RagDolls, is it Aerosmith Tribute or RagDolls Tribute Band? We have an Instagram. I created, although I'm terrible at it because I don't like being on camera so much, a TikTok page that I'm trying to build. So please come see us. I'm trying to upload things. I need more live content, but I'll get there. Which is funny because I saw this hilarious goth band, these young guys, and they're pretty good actually, but they dress in full goth and they do these funny, and this is on TikTok, these funny videos where like a goth at a park or a goth at the beach, and like places you don't expect to see full goth regalia. These two guys in the band just placing themselves in different scenarios. Goth at the mall or goth at the yogurt stand. They're hilarious. I wish I was that creative. But you can find us on those regular sites. We have a YouTube channel as well. And all of those are linked to, I believe, our website, which again
Excellent.
is www.ragdolls.
I definitely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to chat with me, to
check us out.
Tell me some about yourself and about the band. And I definitely hope to one day see you guys in person and see what you guys are all about. Oh, I'm in Virginia.
Well, how far are you from New Hampshire? Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I know we're going to be hitting the East Coast next year. And we're also doing the Rock and Romance cruise out of Florida in March with Queen Nation, who are very good friends. We've done some shows with them, and our Masha dates the lead singer, Greg Finsley. They're amazing. So they'll be on that cruise, as well as a lot of artists that are not tribute people.
Definitely.
Really
well,
looking forward to
I
that.
appreciate it. I wish you all the best. And it sounds like you guys are
that should be happening.
moving on up.
I hope to
It's
also
not going to be
hit
long
up,
before you're
military
playing
bases, because I really
and having
want to
other
give
people
back
open
to
for
them
you
as much as
guys.
I can. And I think they would really enjoy RagDolls.
Well, I hope you have a great afternoon, what's left of it, and
We
I definitely will reach out soon.
wouldn't that be a dream? From your lips to God's ears, Josh.
All right, you
from
too.
Your lips.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Take care.